Have you ever felt like you've made a colossal mistake, or perhaps that you are the mistake? Well, Rudeus Greyrat, the protagonist for Mushoku Tensei, knows that feeling all too well. Reborn into a new world after a tragic accident and a tragic life, honestly, Rudeus finds himself grappling with the guilt of his past life and the challenges of starting over from the beginning as a baby with a 30-year-old's mind. We've never seen that before. Welcome to class. This is Anime Psychology 101, and today we're talking about social isolation and overcoming regrets. Today, we're talking about Rudeus Greyrat. Although Rudeus ends up becoming a great adventurer, a great person, a renowned scholar in this new world of Mushoku Tensei, his previous life in Japan was a stark contrast to that and was anything but that, quite honestly. Rudeus spent most of his childhood and adolescence alone, a solitary figure in a bustling society. This isolation was largely due to his online gaming addiction. The virtual world offered him an escape, a place where he could be anyone he wanted and where he never felt judged. This addiction came at a cost. He neglected his real-world relationships, alienating himself from his peers and his parents and his brothers and sisters. His lack of social skills and self-esteem made it difficult for him to connect with others. His brother tried to reach out to him on multiple occasions, but Rudeus's rejection eventually led his brother to give up on him. We're going to jump a little bit into the future. We're not going to really go over his encounter with Truck-kun, who sent him to his next life. Rather, we're going to go right into his interaction with Hitogami, or the human god. Hitogami grants him a second chance, allowing him to revisit key moments in his past and think through how his choices had affected things. Rudeus's primary goal became to rectify the mistakes that he made in his previous life. He focused on building stronger relationships, especially with his family, and he sought to avoid the pitfalls that had led him to his isolation. Even though he isn't sure that he wants to look up to Paul, and even though throughout the series at different points he has fights with Paul over different things, upon Paul's death, it affects him so much that he wants to return to being a recluse again. But he allows himself to lean on Roxy to help him get through the devastating loss of his father in this new life. Another change in character is that he continues to care for Zenith, Noor, Lilia, and Aisha. While Noor does become depressed while at school, Rudeus searches her out, similar to how his brother in his past life had tried to bring him back to relationship. Instead, this time he chooses to sit with Noor until she is ready to talk. And then, instead of rushing the process, he was patient as well as just waiting for her to talk and open up as she felt ready to. This showed a huge step in growth and also helps to bring his and Noor's relationship back to a loving sibling relationship for the rest of the story. There are two big differences here between his life in Japan and the life that he takes here. Rudeus, he makes an effort to connect with others, forming genuine friendships with people like Roxy, Eris, Rudyard, and Sylphie. Even at times when he very much wanted to avoid people, instead he allowed himself to rely on others to help him get through these tough times. The second thing is that he embraces his potential. He dedicated himself to his studies, his training in magic, and he dove headfirst into becoming something better than what he started out as. Doing these things made a huge difference in the outcome. He didn't hide when things got tough. He fought through them and ultimately conquers his shortcomings, becoming one of those ranked as God tier in the history of this world. There is a very important difference between Rudeus' story and our individual stories, and that is we only get one life, and if we waste it, it's gone. We don't get a second chance to do it again. Getting nailed by a truck doesn't send us to another world, even though many of us think that would be super cool if it did. So what life lessons can we take away from this character and these very specific examples? One, I would say, would be love and cherish your family and friends. Two, dedicate your time to developing into a person that you are proud of. Three, don't seclude yourself. Don't shut down when it gets tough. Keep going and it'll get better and you will get stronger. Just remember, we've only got one shot at life, so make it count. Be willing to risk loving someone. Be dedicated to becoming the best version of yourself that you can be, and always reach out to others. You never know when you'll be the difference that keeps someone else going for another day. What do you feel is the best thing that you can take away from this story? What are you scared to do right now but also excited for? Let me know in the comments below. This has been Anime Psychology 101, and we'll see you guys in the next lesson.